Okay, guys, I know this is going to sound really, really weird, but the master sets are back, and I am super excited. Greetings, owners of fine luxury cardboard rectangles. It feels really good to bring good news. This is fantastic to me. This set represents something I never thought I would see, and that is the redemption of the master sets. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about what this new double master product is, and I'm going to tell you why this is a really, really good sign for Magic the Gathering that actually gives me hope. Now, the first thing I want to do is take a look at some brand new cards. Let's start with Doubling Season. What you're going to see here on the screen is both the regular version and the box topper version of these cards. So there are 3 cards that we have had released so far for this set to give us a little bit of tantalization, starting with Doubling Season, which is 1 green and 4 for an enchantment that says, if an effect would create 1 or more tokens under your control, it creates twice that many of these tokens instead. If an effect would put 1 or more counters on a permanent you control, it puts twice that many of the counters on that permanent instead. So basically, it doubles your token and counter production. It's a pretty straightforward concept. You can see in the new artwork, you've got these cute little dinosaurs being all hatched out of their eggs going, let's double down on this. Although, you know, it kind of looks like there's actually 3 eggs in the artwork. So could this be rejected art for tripling season? They'll never make a tripling season, let's be real. Doubling Season is a card you'll never see reprinted in a standard set because its ability to double counters works way too grossly with Planeswalkers, right? This is a fantastic feel-good card. Getting to double things feels good. Honestly, an enchantment that just did one or the other of these abilities, either doubles your tokens or double your counters, are both a feel-good moment, but Doubling Season wraps them both together in a nice little package. And actually, I will be honest, I like the other artwork that they're using for the regular Doubling Season here more than the box topper variation. And we'll get more into how this box topper stuff works, because this whole set is crazy, and I'm excited about what it represents. So Doubling Season is the first card. The second card is Blight Steel Colossus. All 3 of the cards we're going to look at are going to be absolutely insane, mega desirable cards. This is a good way to get hype for the set going on, because the cards we're talking about are all hard to get, and people really want these. So Blight Steel Colossus is 12 mana for an 11/11 Trampler Infect with Indestructible. And if you don't know what Infect is, it does poison damage. So basically, Blight Steel Colossus does 11 poison damage in 1 shot, which means it is a 1 attack win scenario, right? Like if you hit your opponent with it and this is unblocked, you just win the game in 1 hit. So it's indestructible and trample on top of the Infect. And if Blight Steel Colossus would be put into a graveyard from anywhere, you reveal it and shuffle it into the library instead. So it keeps coming back. It's an absolutely insane card, right? Like Blight Steel Colossus has such like a feel-good, gut punch feel to it. And you look at the artwork and you can see these two, like this is literally the same. It's interesting because the Blight Steel Colossus almost feels like a legendary creature, but it's not. These are just regular constructs, regular golems. So the new artwork shows the Blight Steel Colossus in a more dynamic pose. I mean, obviously he looks slightly different. This might be a different variation build of the Blight Steel Colossus, but you can see the parallels there with the gigantic Phyrexian symbol lurking in the middle. And I like seeing that because you know what? I've been going back through the old novels and seeing a bunch of Phyrexian stuff. So it's cool to have that reference. This is the Phyrexian influence that happened on Mirrodin being displayed here. And obviously, this is a big, juicy card. Now, the third card we're going to look at is Atraxa Praetor's Voice. Surprise, surprise, another Phyrexian. This one cost 1 green, 1 white, 1 blue, 1 black for a 4/4 Flying Vigilance Death Touch lifelink creature that also says, at the beginning of your end step, proliferate. This is an absolutely insane card, and funnily enough, would combine quite well with the doubling season. Both artworks for this card are funky. I like the fact that when you look at the regular version of Atraxa and you look at the box topper version, the regular version has the shrouded dark background and the box topper has the white background. And it's a really nice contrast. Actually, the artwork for the box topper here has already sold for $15,000. The set just got announced and the artwork got sold today. So those are the types of box toppers that we're going to be looking at with this set, which is like just buck nutty. Now that we've taken a look at some of the stuff you can get in it, let's talk about what the set actually is going to be. It is a 332 card set. There are going to be 24 packs per booster. It is 15 card booster packs. Now every pack has 2 rares and 2 foils per pack. And this does mean that those foils can also be rares. So you could theoretically get 4 rares / mythic rares in one booster. Each box of 24 packs will include 2 non-foil borderless showcase box topper cards. So that's pretty funky right there. Now this is going to come out in English, French, German, simplified Chinese, and Japanese. The price of these, now Wizards doesn't use MSRP anymore, right? So it's the only place that you're going to find any kind of price for a product like this is when they tell you how much it's going to sell for on MTGO to give you a baseline. So this is going to be selling for $6.99 per booster on MTGO, which is the same price point that we have seen Modern Horizons. And basically what this price-wise, if you're wondering what this is going to look like in the stores, price-wise, this is going to be roughly equivalent to the Modern Horizons or previous Master sets. So on top of that, this actually, when you draft it, you get to pick 2 cards with your first draft pick. I don't know if you're picking 2 cards each time a pack goes by. I'm not sure how that works, but they're going to do the drafts of this set in a special way where you get to pick 2 cards at least as your first pick, I guess, so you can make sure you grab the best 2 rares from the pack, which is nice because admittedly with previous Master sets, we've seen in drafts, people get crazy packs and be like, you know what? I'm just going to drop out of the draft. And that can cause problems for tournaments. So it's better to have this sort of kind of funky side concept for drafting. Now, this product will not be released on Magic Arena, as far as I understand. It's only going to be coming to Magic Online. It's not going to add to the historic pool on Arena, which is a shame. I would enjoy it if it did. But for me, the biggest thing about this set is what it signals, because I've used the Master set as the baseline for when everything changed with Wizards of the Coast. The very first Master set that they put out was cram-packed full of awesome cards. It gave you genuine value, right? The idea behind Modern Masters, the very first Master set, was supposed to be, we're going to create a set that serves a format. So in this case, Modern, although they did extend it out to Eternal Masters as well. But they started with Modern Masters. And the first Modern Master was a home run. The packs were more expensive than Magic Booster, like regular boosters, but the amount of awesome stuff you got out of the packs really felt like it justified the price. Now that set sold so amazingly that it caused Wizards to make multiple changes with the next Master set, where they went basically, let's scale back on the value that we're giving people and push the price up more. So they made the Master sets cost more money and gave less value. And from that point forwards, things just got progressively worse as each Master set was just a very thinly veiled attempt to make us pay triple the price for booster packs, it felt like, without really giving the same level of value. Yes, there were a few cards here or there that maybe made the packs feel worth it, like if you got a fetch land, that was a good feeling for one of the Master sets. But the Master sets progressed along a curve where they essentially got worse and worse, because at a certain point, Wizards looked at it and went, oh man, look, we get to sell these packs for more money. Let's keep the Master sets going. But the problem is, we've done a bunch of Modern Master sets. There's only so many cards we can put in these. How do we keep the Master sets going where we can charge these high prices, but not have them tied to formats anymore? And that's when they launched Masters 25, Iconic Masters, where they were built around a thematic concept. Now, these were the worst Master sets by far, because instead of going, well, Modern needs to have cards that actually matter in Modern, so we can only get away with putting like so much jank into these sets. Like Wizards was trying to give us less. This is how it felt. They were trying to give us less for the money that we were paying and release multiple master sets a year, essentially get us buying these super expensive packs on a very regular basis. It was too much. And so we ended up with these underwhelming sets where Iconic Masters was based off of iconic creature types like Hydras and whatever, and they greatly miscalculated how many people would care about things like Mana Drain or Imperial Recruiter, because they always wanted to have like a flagship card that would be the big card that would get you super excited about buying the set, right? Like, there's all kinds of stuff that happened, even to the point where it felt like they unbanned Jace the Mind Sculptor just in an attempt to boost Flagging Masters 25 sales. So this all ended up resulting in Graveyard Masters, which, if you didn't know, Ultimate Masters, which is what the set came out as, was originally going to be Graveyard Masters. But Wizards realized that the Master sets weren't functioning and discontinued the line, Graveyard Masters being the final one, but they had to rebrand it. That's actually where they birthed the box topper concept. So my understanding of events, now can't prove this without a corporate release, but my understanding of events is that essentially they had Graveyard Masters ready to go. Then they had to rebrand it as Ultimate Masters and include box toppers. So they rebranded the entire set, repackaged it, put the box toppers in, and then passed the additional cost on to consumers, making Ultimate Masters a more expensive than the other Master set. They released it in a very narrow window with a tiny, like, super hyped release. Like, they did everything in a way that could tell you they were just dumping it off. And when people asked about the price of the Ultimate Masters, they went, well, we're sending the Master set off in the style it deserves. It was really just it was like they knew Master sets were garbage and they were extracting as much money from us as they can. And then they just went, we're shelving the Master sets. So I never expected to see them again. And at first, when I saw the concept Double Masters, I'm like, oh no, is it going to get worse? But this is actually a Master set where it feels like they looked at the flaws of the previous Master sets and go, okay, how do we make this a workable product where it feels like it's actually worth it to pay the money that you're paying? And doubling the rares and foils in the set accomplishes that goal admirably, because it makes the set function similarly to standard reprints. And by that, I mean, you're going to pay roughly double the cost of a regular booster for this, right? The most of the time, what matters in a Magic pack is the rares, the mythic rares, and the foils. Yes, there are a few commons, or mostly uncommons, let's be real. There'll be a handful of commons and maybe a common that matter in sets. So it's not always the rares that matter, but almost always it's the rares and foils that matter. So getting 2 booster packs, the things that are going to matter out of there are the rares and the foils. By buying a double Masters pack, you're getting 2 rares and 2 foils per pack, right? So that is the rares and foils, especially since you're guaranteed 2 foils. It's actually technically more foils than you would automatically get by buying 2 standard packs. And so what this has the effect of doing is it will have the same, ideally, have the same lowering effect on the price of certain reprints, because you're basically paying the price of a regular pack for one of those rares, right? If you're paying $5 for a pack and you get a rare, or you're paying $10 for a pack and getting 2 rares, since the rares and foils are the things that matter, that actually makes it equivalent to having reprints in standard, right? Just in regular priced packs. Not particularly in the standard format, but that same kind of effect where the price of packs determines the price of singles as well. So instead of coming out with Modern Horizons 2 and charging us the same price that they're going to charge us for double Masters, we are getting packs where you're going to get 2 rares per pack, theoretically more, and 2 foils. This is going to push the price of singles from the set down, which is something I'm absolutely happy to see, because we need more of that in Magic. Magic has an affordability problem, and this particular Master set feels like they are willing to address it. Is it absolutely ideal? No, it's clearly not perfect. It is still them selling us a double pack. If you were to buy 2 booster packs, you would theoretically end up with more cards. Not theoretically, you would definitely end up with more cards. 2 packs at 15 cards a pack is 30 cards. But again, commons and uncommons are mostly jank. So I'm considering them like a minor, yes, it would be better if this was just $5 a pack or whatever. And it is it is still a master set and we don't have all the information. So I don't know exactly what's gonna go down with it. We're gonna get more information later today, sometime this evening after this video's come out. What time is it now? Yeah, definitely. By the time this video's come out, this video will drop before Wizards is gonna do their Twitch stream where they reveal more cards and tell us more about what's going on with the set. But either way, this is a strong signal that they're willing to rework old ideas that didn't work, and this Double Masters feels the closest that any Master set has ever felt to the original Modern Masters, and the original Modern Masters actually felt like a product where they cared about delivering something good to the customer. And we are living in a time right now where obviously the world is in chaos and people don't have access to as much finances. So having a set like this that's going to help push single prices down is actually a really great move. I found myself humming happily after reading the announcement about it. I went, well, actually, wait, this is a huge step in the right direction. So the fact that they're willing to take an old product like that, bring it back, and make it into something that's more desirable and actually a better deal for it, this is the best deal in Master sets since the original Modern Masters. And there have been, what, 1, 2, 3, like 5 more Master sets? This is literally the best one since the first. So this is a great sign that we may actually see other improvements in Wizards of the Coast, dialing back the greed a little bit and offering us more for our money, which is how things should be. So what we're going to do tonight in the live stream is we're going to spend some time talking about the whatever additional information that we get about this Double Master set. I've got a big old box that I got in the mail. Another James P. crate has arrived. It's full of card games or something. I'm not sure exactly what's in here, but we'll crack this in a live stream tonight. So this channel here is community funded. That's how I support it. That's supported by all of the people who come together. Big shout out to my patrons and channel members. If you like what I do here, want to support the channel, help it grow, then go ahead and jump on the Patreon today. You won't regret it because it will make everybody love you. Thanks for coming by, everybody, and I'll see you guys tonight to talk about this Double Masters goodness.